Good morning, Western Washington, and happy Tuesday. I'm Matthew Fab with Western Washington Weather, and today we're going to take a look at the forecast for our next storm moving in and the atmospheric river that is likely coming up this weekend. We'll take a look at some more information on that, but first let's talk about this storm. You can see it offshore here, starting to push toward Western Washington here in the Pacific Northwest at large. You can see some clouds over parts of Oregon and Washington. This morning, these high clouds are what are coming in ahead of our system, although we have a lot of low clouds at the surface here. Taking a look at the radar, you can see some isolated showers this morning and some of the very first showers from our next system there off the Oregon coast, but we still got a little bit to go until this system moves in. So let's take a look at the forecast here. You can see this is the European model. As we go through today, you can see that rain starts to move onshore this afternoon, and then it reaches the lowlands by this evening. One thing we have to watch is the position of this low. We'll talk about that in a second here. You can see as we go into Wednesday morning, we spread moderate rain and mountain snow across western Washington, heavy at times through midday Wednesday, turning showery but continuing at times across western Washington all the way through Thursday morning, especially potentially up there by Whatcom County and Skagit County, some of the North Cascades getting some more snow. You can see those showers will diminish completely by the time we get to Thursday evening, and then we have a brief break before some rain moves in to the area Friday night into Saturday morning, and then here comes that atmospheric river. Take a look at it, just slamming into the Pacific Northwest here from Saturday evening through Sunday and continuing into Monday. This forecast cuts off at 10 p.m. Sunday there, so let's move it back to Monday. You can see you can also see there's a potential second shot out of this atmospheric river that brings another round of rain through Tuesday morning, and then we will calm down a little bit. So definitely a lot to watch in the extended forecast with that atmospheric river potential and very high snow levels and all of that. So we'll be watching that closely this week. Now let's take a look at that low I was talking about earlier. So you can see it here on the European model. See how it moves up offshore and then moves into Vancouver Island here while weakening a lot. If you move this east just a little bit, this could bring a good windstorm to parts of the Washington coast and the northwest interior, maybe parts of Puget Sound. But you can see it kind of stays offshore here on the European model and weakens dramatically as it moves into Vancouver Island. But let's take a look at a different forecast of that. This is the NAM model. You see how the NAM has this elongated low and then has it split up and has this low move into the northern Oregon coast, which will bring some decent winds to the northern half of the Willamette Valley and parts of the Oregon coast. And then take a look at the high-resolution rapid refresh model. This forecast has it move right into the Olympic Peninsula there and weaken dramatically, and then move through western Washington there on Wednesday. So all of these bring a different wind forecast here. So the European model, which keeps it offshore and weakens it, has some gusts of 40 to 50 miles per hour for the northwest interior, basically from Everett northward. Some areas on the Kitsap Peninsula and around Seattle gusting 30 to 35 miles per hour. And then you can see along the Washington coast gusts of 40 to 50 miles per hour, except up here in the northern Washington coast, like La Push and Forks, gusting potentially 50 to 60 miles per hour with this track right offshore. Now we take a look at the NAM model, which brings the low into the Oregon coast. You can see parts of the Oregon coast gusting 50 to 60 miles per hour, and then parts of the Willamette Valley here gusting 45 to 50 miles per hour, including over 50 miles per hour there around Salem and some areas south of Portland. But you can see with the low moving into our south and that elongated trough off to the west here, parts of the Washington coast have a slightly offshore wind gusting 40 to 50 miles per hour, and we have some offshore winds across western Washington gusting 35 to 40 miles per hour, including some of these gap winds here. And then you can see from areas south of Olympia with that low moving in, those areas like Centralia, Chehalis, Longview, and Kelso, and Vancouver, Washington gusting 40 to 45 miles per hour. And then another forecast to look at here, this is the HRRR, which brings it right into the Olympic Peninsula there. This would bring the biggest blow to western Washington. This forecast gives gusts of 45 to 55 miles per hour to the Washington coast, and then areas from Portland all the way up through Bellingham gusting 40 to 45 miles per hour, some places near 50 miles per hour, especially around the San Juans, Whidbey Island, parts of Admiralty Inlet, and then some areas between Olympia and Portland. So there's obviously a lot of uncertainty with this low. We will have a better idea of this tomorrow morning as it's happening, but stay tuned to my social media. I'll try to post an update as we kind of see with the satellite imagery where this low could be going, because obviously there is a lot of uncertainty between a few forecasts here. So now taking a look at simulated radar for today, you can see as we go through this afternoon that rain starts to move into the area. Mountain snow starts in the southern Cascades near White Pass there around 9 p.m. Rain moves into the Puget Sound lowlands around that time, spreads across the entire region by midnight with heavy snow across the passes and heavy rain at times in the lowlands all the way through Wednesday morning. There we have a brief break around midday. Then the snow and rain pick back up again into the evening hours there. You can see around 9 to 10 p.m. And as we go into Thursday morning, that rain just continues. This is where this forecast ends. We're going to have that rain continuing through Thursday morning and pushing off to the east there with some decent mountain snow as well. So taking a look here at precipitation totals here on the HRRR model, this is only through 4 a.m. Thursday, so precipitation will be continuing at this time. You can see rain shadow to the northeast of the Olympic Peninsula, and then from basically Arlington southward, they're getting over a half inch of rain in the lowlands, up toward 3/4 of an inch around Seattle, and then Olympia, Portland, Tacoma and Olympia, and then down toward Portland, getting about 0.8 to 1.25 inches. And then on the coast there, you can see some heavy rain at times, 1.5 to 2.5 inches potentially, especially if we get some training heavy rain there along the Washington coast. That could cause some street flooding and stuff like that as well. And then taking a look here at the snow totals through Thursday night here on the European model, you can see the passes getting a decent round of snow, 7 inches at Snoqualmie and Stevens and White Passes there. And then this snow will continue off into eastern Washington. You can see 2 to 3 inches in Ellensburg, Wenatchee, Spokane. So mainly north of I-90 getting some snow here, but parts of eastern Washington will pick up some more snow with this before it warms up beyond the point of snow for most of eastern Washington there this week. So now taking a look at that atmospheric river, you can see precipitable water, amount of water vapor in the atmosphere. See the atmospheric river coming out into western Washington here Saturday, continues through Sunday, and then pushes back through again on Monday into early Tuesday there. And so when you take a look at the European model from last night, total precipitation through the end of February has about 4 to 5 inches across the Seattle metro area, and then the Washington coast, they're getting 5 to 6 inches, Portland getting 3.5 to 4 inches. And what is worth noting here is that the Cascades get between 5 and 8 inches of rain, and most of this will be falling as rain because the snow levels are so high, which could definitely lead to some flooding across all of our rivers, draining the Cascades, especially with all the snow we've gotten recently that will also start melting with these warm temperatures. And how warm are we looking? Well, this is the European model looking at high temperatures this Saturday, and you can see the subtropical air from that atmospheric river will be making its presence known here, with highs across the I-5 corridor through western Washington in the upper 50s to low 60s. You can see some places around King and Pierce counties could be getting into the low 60s there, including SeaTac Airport and Tacoma on this forecast. And then what is worth noting here is the temperatures in the mountains. You can see Snoqualmie Pass at 43 degrees, and similar places like Paradise on Mount Rainier up at 39. So the trend is that it will be almost above freezing for the entirety of the Cascades, which suggests a snow level around 10 to 12,000 feet. Basically, anything below 10 to 12,000 feet will be rain, which means that there will be a lot of melting snow and a lot of rain falling on snow, which brings a very high avalanche danger and a high risk of river flooding. So definitely something to watch over the next few days. Stay tuned for more on that. And you can see on the ensemble forecast last night for SeaTac Airport, good agreement on this upcoming system, bringing a half inch to an inch of rain to the area. And then you can see the atmospheric river. The ensembles are still a little bit spread out on this, especially if we're going to get that second shot of rain on Monday to Tuesday. But there is decent agreement on some enhanced rainfall through the period from Saturday into Monday and possibly Tuesday there. So stay tuned for more on that over the next few days. This is definitely something we'll be talking about. And then, of course, stay tuned to my social media for some more updates on this storm and our atmospheric river. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe here on YouTube, and follow me on Blue Sky, on the Western Washington Weather Facebook group, and on Twitter. So thank you all for watching, and I will talk to you all tomorrow.